This morning on Juice and Java, we talk about all the latest on the Hanoi summit with North Korea and Lyft filing its IPO.
Updates on the DeWitt Chili murder case and more. Juice and Java starts right now.
Good morning, and thanks for starting your morning with us. I'm Zach Allen.
And I'm Lilia Wood. Let's kick things off with your morning brew. All your top headlines from this week.
SU men's basketball is looking to get back on track after 2 losses this week. Duke beat SU 75-65 on Saturday, and UNC beat the Cuse 93-85 on Tuesday. Syracuse will face off against Wake Forest today at noon.
New campus safety initiatives are on the way. SU Interim Chief Diversity Officer Keith Alford said that safety measures including more off-campus cameras are in the works.
That snow from earlier in the week is making a comeback. Dangerously high winds caused morning classes to be canceled on Monday. Wednesday saw a surprise snowstorm resulting in several inches of snow, and more snow is expected this weekend.
He is a racist, he is a con man, and he is a cheat.
That was Michael Cohen describing his former boss, Donald Trump. Cohen testified in front of the House Oversight and Reform Committee on Wednesday, detailing the president's business interactions.
President Trump is back in the U.S. after his summit in Vietnam with Supreme Leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, ended early. The summit was held to discuss the denuclearization of North Korea. However, the two leaders did not come to an agreement.
This has been your Morning Brew.
And now let's delve deeper into your week's story with The Squeeze.
The Hanoi summit between the U.S. and North Korea came to an abrupt end this week. The summit discussed the possibility of North Korean nuclear disarmament. In return for the dismantling of North Korea's main nuclear facility, Kim Jong-un asked that some of the sanctions on his country be removed. Trump's refusal to make such a concession and Kim Jong-un's reluctance to shut down other nuclear facilities spelled the end of these talks. Because an agreement was never settled upon, it is unclear what lasting effects the summit will have on future disarmament talks.
So when they came back to the United States during the press conference, Trump said, you know what, sometimes you just have to walk away.
Yeah, and we saw this back in 1986 with Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev, and they met to discuss meetings between the U.S. and the USSR, and Reagan just walked away. He did the same exact thing, but he came back and he said that this wasn't a failure because we got to say what our bottom lines were. We got to say something. So just the fact that they were in the same room and got to discuss together was a huge step forward. However, nothing happened, and so now the jokes start coming.
Yeah, their late night talk hosts were saying the funniest things. One of them was like, all they do is just walk anyways, because you know the B-roll of them just walking around? That's all they do anyways. And other ones were saying it looks like they're waiting for their sons to get out of soccer practice because they literally are sitting there but like kind of like a few feet apart.
You knew the jokes were coming. You knew the jokes were coming.
Exactly. Well, in other news, after an Indian commander's plane was shot down in Kashmir, Pakistan captured the pilot. Pakistan released the pilot on Thursday as a peace gesture to India. The big debate is over control of the territory of Kashmir, where both India and Pakistan claim to have total control. The feud between India and Pakistan heated up the week after India carried out airstrikes on an alleged military camp in Pakistan on Tuesday. This led Pakistan to retaliating on Wednesday with the Indian fighter jet being shot down in Kashmir. The pilot is now back safe and sound with his family in India.
Well, first off, let me say that I'm very glad that the pilot is back home safe and sound in this Indian version of Top Gun, but I had no idea that this area was such a disputed area between these two countries.
Because they both own it, that's the big thing. And a lot of people are saying, yeah, this has happened since the 1970s, but now it's an even bigger deal because they both have nuclear weapons.
And this is
not just them.
Right. And this is a hot time because there's an election coming up in May for India, so all of this has a lasting impact.
Yeah, and the United States is coming forward and a few other countries, and they're saying, wait, no more violence. Let's try to figure it out because it's kind of strange that they both own this land. I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, well, he's safe, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. And in other news, the incredible dog sled race is back. The 47th annual Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race begins today as mushers will travel 11 miles to Campbell Airstrip. From there, racers will travel around 1,000 miles of remote terrain to reach the finish line in Nome, Alaska. With a new board of directors in charge of the race, there have been some new rule changes, such as a reduction in team sizes from a maximum of 16 dogs to now 14 dogs. This rule is set in the interest of dog safety and dog care. This year there are 52 racers, which is the smallest group since 1989, and the top 20 mushers earn prize money. The race starts today at 2 p.m., even if some of us here have never heard of the Iditarod until today.
Okay, well, it's not my fault. I'm not the biggest dog person, okay? But I do understand that this is like a 2-week race, and this is crazy. And you were telling me before that because there's, instead of 16, now there's 14, that's a big deal.
This is a big deal, yes. Obviously, the fewer dogs there are, there's going to be more time for the vets to check on each and every one of these dogs, because this is a tough test, both for the racers, but also for these dogs. I mean, it's a great test of their skill and mental ability, but these dogs also go through a lot, and dogs pass away on this trail. So this is a great step in the
Yeah, and some of the people have been
doing
doing it for years, right? A lot of them, the people who drive the dogs, is that how you do it?
They're the mushers, yeah.
Thank you.
I'm looking to watch Jeff King.
I've never seen this before.
63-year-old out of California.
All right, well, in other news, Lyft is one step closer to becoming a public company. The rideshare company took the first steps to entering the New York Stock Exchange by filing an IPO earlier this week. According to the paperwork, the company asked to raise $100 million in its offering to the public. This announcement is the latest attempt by the company to surpass biggest competitors, Uber, and comes following years of profit losses for both rideshare companies. In 2008 alone, Lyft's net loss grew to over $900 million. It is up for investors to decide whether the awards outweigh the risks when the company goes public.
Do what you want, Lyft. You're never going to pass. You're never going to pass Uber. You will forever be the shadow of Uber. You're going to be Poober, and that's just the way it is. I mean, I never take Lyft. I have the app. I never take Lyft.
Okay, but when there is surge prices, I think you should take Lyft.
I've never seen the prices on Lyft be cheaper. Plus, in my humble opinion, Uber has some of the wildest drivers.
But this is their way to get ahead of Lyft, to get ahead of Uber, no matter what, because I know they're saying once they do go public, then they're going to give them more money, the drivers, so that they can put stock into their...
That's a good incentive for these drivers. However, you're never going to have a Julio or a Candyman.
The Candyman's crazy.
That's why you go to Uber. Now, from cookie hero to drug charges, Dietrich McGowan, a man who saved the Girl Scouts from the cold by buying $540 worth of cookies, has now been arrested on federal drug charges. After going viral last weekend on Facebook with a photo of McGowan and the 2 Girl Scouts, he was arrested earlier this week on charges that include conspiracy to manufacture and distribute heroin, cocaine, and fentanyl. Authorities say McGowan and 10 others conspired to import drugs from Mexico and had more than $1 million in cash. No word yet on if the Girl Scouts will have to return the money. What is going on?
Well, I don't think the Girl Scouts should have to return the money.
I don't think so either. But this just goes to show how crazy 2019 is. This man went to being a hero, and then just that quickly, everyone was like, wait, hold on a second. This man is in connection with over $1 million in selling very hard drugs.
Yeah, he went viral at first for being like the man who saved the Girl Scouts who were freezing outside to be able to give them more money, and so they could go home.
I'd be very concerned if I was those parents, but hot take, I think he still did a good job. I mean, he didn't have to help out those Girl Scouts.
But do you think he's going to get the cookies? Or did he already take the cookies?
Well, he probably already. Maybe he's selling the cookies too. I don't know. I don't know.
With the drugs. Whatever. Well, in other news, the case of last September's double murder in a Chili's restaurant is coming to a close. William Wood Jr. pleaded guilty to killing 2 employees of the DeWitt restaurant last fall. Wood, a former employee of the Chili's, is facing life in prison without parole. 5 people in total have been indicted in the connection with the crimes. Wood accused Tracy Brown of selling him the gun knowing the intent, and another man, Jerome Pinkard, is accused of selling the gun to Tracy. Ronald Green is also under arrest, suspected of being the getaway driver. Tracy Brown and Ronald Green face murder charges. Ryan Brown, Tracy's son, is accused of misleading police. Ryan Brown and Jerome Pinkard were indicted on separate charges.
You know, Lilia, when this story came out last year, it just seemed to keep unraveling and unraveling and getting worse. So I'm glad that we finally are coming to a close, and those that are involved can really start the healing process now that they know everything.
And it's crazy how many people were involved and how many backtracks they had to do. But I'm glad that they're finally coming to a close, because this was a long time coming for these people.
It was, and I mean, it was especially sad because we saw something very similar at a Denny's here in Syracuse.
Yeah,
locally,
a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's so sad. Well, coming up after break, Carmella Boykin is in studio to tell us about what to expect for the weather this week.
Stay with us.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Welcome back to Juice and Java. Winter storm Scott is brewing on the West Coast, bringing snow and rain across the U.S. CitrusTV weather anchor Carmella Boykin is here to break down just when the storm will hit. Carmella?
Thanks, Zach. As we check our Syracuse Airport live cam right now, we've got overcast skies and low wind speeds, so perfect conditions for flying. But as we don't see the sun out right now, it's not too warm. If we move into our current temperatures, we can see we're resting at There we go. If we move into our current temperatures, we're resting at 32 degrees here in Syracuse. Like we said, overcast skies and calm winds, and we're seeing similar things across the rest of the state. Currently, we're, like we said, 32 degrees in Syracuse, just around the freezing point. Similar deal up in Rome, but down in Elmira, they're the warmest at 35 degrees. Similar in Ithaca, and Rochester is somewhere in between with 33 degrees. For the rest of the day today, you can expect some snow around 2 p.m. and then at 4 p.m. we'll be at 33 degrees. 8 p.m. will be around 29 degrees. Like we said, snow will begin mid-afternoon, but low wind speeds, so as you're walking around, you're not going to get blasted with the snow, which is a nice bonus. As we move into tonight, we're going to hit a low of 24 degrees. That snow is going to clear, and we're also going to see some overcast skies as well. So perfect winter night, not a lot of snow, not a lot of slick roads, perfect if you have a commute. Now, if we move into our national winter radar, we're looking at two different storms today. Moving in across the Great Lakes is a storm bringing us some snow that we're going to see today. And then we also have Winter Storm Scott brewing off of the West Coast. So let's break this down. First, what we can expect today is the East Coast storm making its way. There were some cooler temperatures over in the Midwest earlier this week. That made its way across the Great Lakes, picked up some precipitation, and now we're going to see that move into Syracuse, but that'll be out by this evening. Now, for Winter Storm Scott on the East Coast, that is making its way into California, bringing lots of wind, lots of rain, even some snow in areas. In November, they were in drought, but no fear, now they're not. They've seen a lot of precipitation over the winter, even some flooding in some areas. And this Winter Storm Scott is going to make its way across the country on Sunday. So we can see it's basically making its way in, dumping a lot of snow in the Utah and Denver area, even in northern parts of Arizona and New Mexico as well. And we're expecting that to continue throughout the day on Sunday. Very quick moving storm. So like we just talked about, making its way across the west, making its way making its way, even picking up some precipitation down in the Gulf of Mexico. That's what some models are saying. It depends on where you look. Then making its way up into the East Coast. We're going to see some snow here in Syracuse, anywhere between 3 to 5 inches, but most of the snow is going to be in the New England area and even in parts of Pennsylvania. For the rest of the week, you can expect clouds, snow, and cool temperatures. On Monday, we're going to see continued effects of the snow on Monday, then clouds throughout the rest of the day. Tuesday, we're going to have some snow showers in the evening. Then Wednesday, it's going to be the coldest of the week, high of 16, low of 6, and Thursday, morning snow showers as well. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Carmella. And coming up, Landon Wexler breaks down the latest folding smartphones and all the new tech revealed at the Mobile World Congress.
Keep it here.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. Yeah, we're getting so wet. Oh, with the groove, show proof, keep it smooth as I bust the move. Hey, yo, step in swiftly, you with me, keep up. If not, just stop, hop and squat, put your feet up, read up, pay attention, listen to the melody. Remember what you heard, got my words to the spell of me. Top notch, got them all jumping like hopscotch, or jumping rope like double dutch in the air. Show me what you got, keep it hot like the heater. You thinking you a treat, cause you're sweet, but I'm sweeter. Leader of the pack, cause they all stay behind me. I'm old school, you don't skip tracks, you rewind me. Find me, working on my craft.
Welcome back to Juice and Java. On last week's episode, we covered how foldable smartphones were being released.
And morning correspondent Landon Wexler is in studio to tell us all about the newest smartphone technology from the Mobile World Congress. Landon?
That's right, I am, guys. Thank you so much. Last weekend was the Mobile World Congress event in Barcelona, Spain. The MWC is the grand unveiling of non-iPhone phone concepts from around the world that rarely ceases to amaze. Two main things companies are competitive for at this point: foldables and 5G. Just as we kicked off the show with the brew, let's kick things off with foldables.
Three foldable phones that captured the spotlight at the MWC: the Huawei Mate X, the Galaxy Fold, and Royal FlexPi. The big differentiators here are that the Galaxy Fold has 6 cameras, the Royal FlexPi is the most durable, rugged, and bulky, and the Mate X seems to have the most features and the best look. But the old adage, you get what you pay for, comes true here because the price of the Mate X starts at $2,600. Outside of that, the glass on all of these phones folds, which for many like myself is completely mind-boggling. It's made with flexible glass, which allows it to fold thousands of times without damaging or wearing out. The part that doesn't differentiate too much though, the price, all of which are around the $2,000 mark. LG came in with their V50 model, which has a few interesting innovative functions. The screen doubles as a quality speaker that lines the screen of the phone. Just like the iPhone, the facial recognition technology is there with LG, and it has hand recognition too. No, not fingerprints. Get this. You can hold your hand over the phone, and it will read the hemoglobin in the veins of your hand and unlock. That functions as a foldable phone too, and is a much cheaper cost, and the 5G is ready whenever the technology is available. And perhaps the most innovative technology of it, it still has the headphone jack. Out of all the MWC unveils, one stands out and is pretty darn unique. There's a phone that has a feature of having fewer features, the Punkt MP02, which is the farthest thing from a smartphone possible in 2019. The goal with this phone is to detox users from their endless notifications and stress of a normal phone. It also functions as a Wi-Fi hotspot just in case you want to use Wi-Fi on your real phone.
That's right, guys. I might get one of those Punkt as well, just in case I want to get away. Overall, the tech world has plenty to look forward to, and we'll be seeing plenty of folding phones and 5G very, very soon. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Landon. And coming up, Greg Bradbury is in studio to tell us all about the biggest sport contracts this season, including record-breaking numbers.
Juice and Java will be right back.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Wait, why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where did cats go on vacation? New York.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back to Juice and Java. MLB star Bryce Harper made history this week, signing the largest contract in baseball history. This comes shortly after both Manny Machado and Nolan Arenado signed contracts to put them in the top 5 conversation for largest contracts.
Juice and Java correspondent Greg Bradbury joins us in studio to break down those contracts and see how those record-breaking contracts are not just for those on the diamond.
Thanks, guys. Well, $330 million over 13 years was what it took Bryce Harper to join the Philadelphia Phillies on Thursday. Now, that's an average of $25.3 million a year, and massive contracts like these are now becoming normal in today's sports world.
Harper for baseball, Harden for basketball, and Rodgers for football. The three all broke records in the last 9 months for signing the largest contracts in their sports history. Bryce Harper with a $330 million contract over 13 years with the Phillies. James Harden with a $228 million contract extension over 4 years with the Rockets, and Aaron Rodgers with a 4-year extension with the Packers, paying him $134 million. This trend continues to the ice, where John Tavares of the Toronto Maple Leafs will earn $15.9 million this season in base salary alone. That makes it the largest single-season salary in NHL history. So it's easy to see that athletes in these sports are making more money than ever before. But why is the question? Well, contracts have simply become a waiting game. One player signs, then the next follows with an even larger contract. Manny Machado signed with the Padres for $300 million on February 22nd, but Bryce Harper almost a week later signs for $30 million more. Now, a similar situation played out for NFL superstars Khalil Mack and Aaron Donald right before the start of the NFL season. Donald became the highest defensive paid player in NFL history with a 6-year, $135 million contract. But after holding the title for just 1 day, Khalil Mack signed a 6-year, $141 million contract to take over the record. Now, as these massive contracts play out, fans will definitely be keeping an eye on those who are getting paid the most and hopefully not have to regret a big signing.
Now, as the NFL offseason moves on, some big names to keep an eye out for are Ezekiel Elliott and Le'Veon Bell. Both running backs are looking to get paid more than the other, and it could become another waiting game situation. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Greg. That's a lot of money. And coming up, we talk about the craziest stories from this week.
Don't go away.
Welcome back to Juice and Java. Now, we saw a lot of political stories steal the spotlight this week. Let's take a look at some crazier stories that you may have missed.
We're going to start in Germany. So a town in Germany shocked millions by seizing a family's pug over unpaid taxes and then selling the cute creature on eBay. Officials listed Edda, the family pug, for a low price of £750. However, the new owner is now suing the town because she claims that the pug had undisclosed medical problems, costing her £1,800 for 4 eye operations. In Germany, the seizure of the dog was completely legal, oddly enough. However, the private eBay account selling the live animal is a different story. Who goes to eBay to buy a dog?
Well, it's a really cute dog.
I mean, yeah, pugs are great. I forever will love Frank from Men in Black, the pug. But I'm not going to eBay to buy it unless it truly is Frank from Men in Black.
Yeah, I don't know why would you put a dog on eBay though? Anyways, I think there's other options. Well, another animal, a chubby rat, is now safe and sound after being saved from a manhole covered in, once again, Germany. Professional animal rescuer Michael Shrew is a full-time local volunteer worked to get that rat free. After propping up the manhole covering, the rescuers were finally able to free the fat rat and release her back into the sewers. While many praise the rescuers, while some ask why go through such a large rescue mission for this rat. What do you think, Zach?
That face on that rat is absolutely amazing. I mean, I guess all animals are equal. Save the rat, but that is wild. What is going on in Germany?
I don't know.
I'm so glad we don't
With the animals.
Yeah, seriously.
It's cute though, once again. I mean, it's a fat rat, but like, it could be a cat.
I guess it could be cute. Now, Starbucks is in hot water this week over a new marketing strategy in China. The coffee chain released a reusable cup that reveals a cat's paw when coffee is poured into it. People all over the country went wild for the cups, even leading to brawls between customers over the cups. Many internet users slammed Starbucks, though, saying that they tried to create artificial demand with these cups. The company denied the claims and announced that they will sell the remainder of the cups online. So better than selling a dog online, but
it's a paw still.
Yeah, I mean, would you go crazy and buy one of those?
I don't think I would buy one. I don't see like the point of it, but I do see like in other countries they like those little like Chotsky type things, you know?
Yeah, I could see that being a big novelty, and maybe it has value in the future if people hang on to it.
So you should buy one now and then sell it on eBay in like 10 years?
Don't get me wrong, I am a huge Starbucks guy, but I'm not going to be racing.
Do you have a reusable cup?
I do not have a reusable cup. Still a big fan of straws, but that's just me.
Me too. And that's all the time we have for this morning. Make sure to follow CitrusTV on Twitter and CitrusTV on our website. I'm Lilia Wood.
And I'm Zach Allen. Have a great weekend, Syracuse.